Hello, welcome back to Quick Reload. At this moment, I'm going to reload. Movie Equilibrium published on 2002. With imbd rating 7.4 out of 10. Our movie Beings with Equilibrium takes place in Libria, a future and dystopian city-state. The film depicts how, in the early 21st century, a horrific Third World War breaks out, bringing civilizations all over the world to their knees. After the war, world leaders feared that the human race would not be able to endure a Fourth World War, so they set about creating a new conflict-free civilization. Because the new leaders believe that human emotion is to blame for man's inhumanity to man, all artifacts that are prone to arouse strong emotions, such as art, music, and literature, are prohibited. These things are usually incinerated right away and are labeled EC10 for emotional content. Furthermore, all Librians are required to get periodic injections of a liquid medicine known as prosium, which is collected at equilibrium distribution stations, known as intervals. The Tetragrammaton Council, which is led by a reclusive figurehead known as Father, governs Libria. Outside of the ruling council, Father seldom interacts with anyone, but his image is omnipresent throughout the city, creating a strong cult of personality. The Tetragrammaton Council tries to ensure that all Librians live identical lives, and it does so by enforcing unity and conformity through its police state apparatus. The Grammaton clerics, who are trained in the lethal martial art of gun kata, which trains users to predict the actions of opponents during firearm combat, are at the top of Librian law enforcement. The clerics exist for the purpose of locating and destroying EC10 materials, and for pursuing, apprehending, and, if necessary, terminating sense offenders, people guilty of feeling emotions. Despite the efforts of the police and clerics, a resistance movement known as the Underground exists in Libria. Terrorist activities against Libria, notably targeting the prosium factories, is carried out by members of this movement. The Underground's commanders think that if they can disrupt prosium production and distribution for a short amount of time, even a single day, the Librians will rise up and overthrow the Tetragrammaton Council. The Underground is based in Libria, but it also communicates with resistance groups in the Nethers, the remains of towns destroyed during World War III. These outsiders collect art and literature from before World War III, as well as other things and artifacts from the old society. Subsequently, they are the targets of Librian death squads composed of police and clerics. Grammaton cleric First Class John Preston, Christian Bale, the film's protagonist, is Libria's highest-ranking cleric. He is a widower with 2 children, Robbie and Lisa. His wife was executed after being found to be a sex offender, leaving him with 2 children, Robbie and Lisa. Preston notices that his colleague, Grammaton cleric First Class Errol Partridge, has taken a copy of Yeats's poems under false pretenses after a raid on a group of resistance members in the Nethers. When Preston discovers that Partridge has not submitted the book for destruction, he chases him down to a damaged cathedral in the Nethers, where Partridge expresses emotion and forces Preston to assist him in cop suicide. Preston's morning dose of prosium is unintentionally broken, and he starts to feel emotions shortly after. Preston is paired with a new partner, the career-minded Brant. After a routine police raid on Mary O'Brien, a Librian woman who has stopped taking prosium, his emotional confusion is exacerbated during her interrogation. When he makes an excuse not to execute a dog in the Nethers, he is acting out of feeling for the first time. Preston has stopped taking prosium and is now compelled to maintain a monotone and emotionless demeanor in front of his kid and Brant, who is becoming increasingly suspicious. Preston's behavior gradually resembles that of Partridge in the beginning of the film, to the point of phrase repetition. Preston soon finds himself entangled in illegal acts. During one of his trips to the Nethers, he is compelled to murder numerous Librian cops who discover the rescued dog in his car. Preston, rearranging his desk and declining to physically murder resistance members during a raid in the Nethers, leads Brant to suspect him. As a result, Preston is summoned before Vice Consul DuPont, where he reveals that he is aiming to infiltrate and eliminate the resistance. Preston pledges to find the traitor after DuPont informs him that he has heard stories of a priest attempting to join the resistance. Preston makes touch with the resistance right away. He agrees to execute Father in the hopes of causing enough confusion for the Underground to blow bombs in Libria's prosium facilities, bringing the Tetragrammaton Council down. Preston weeps excessively after witnessing Mary O'Brien's execution in Libria's furnaces, and Brant captures him. Preston, on the other hand, deceives DuPont into believing Brant is the criminal. Preston has been released after being cleared. Preston returns home to destroy his secreted prosium before the cops locate it, only to be met by his young son, who discloses to Preston that he and his sister have not taken Prosium in a long time and that they have concealed his Prosium cache. The leaders of the resistance turn themselves into Preston as part of an elaborate conspiracy with the underground, and Preston attempt to persuade DuPont to grant him a meeting with Father. Preston arrives for his meeting with Father, only to be met by Father in a surprising reversal. Father speaks to Preston on a telescreen, indicating that he has been aware of Preston's sense of offense and has arranged Brandt's arrest in order to deceive Preston into a false sense of security and allow him to carry out his assassination plan. Vice Consul DuPont appears on the telescreen, explaining that the true father died years ago and that the Tetragrammaton Council elected DuPont as the new head of state. Preston, on the other hand, goes mad with concealed weapons in attempt to reach Brandt and DuPont. Preston and Brandt face off with paired brief swords, but Preston easily eliminates Brandt. Preston and DuPont are then thrown against one another with handguns in a duel of gun kata masters, in which Preston emerges victorious and kills DuPont. Preston then destroys the propaganda machines that broadcast over Libria, as well as the gadget that casts Father's holographic images. The underground blows up their bombs, and the prisoners are freed, realizing that the Tetragrammaton Council is in danger. The video concludes with a rioting, signifying the fall of the Libyan government. Thanks for your valuable time. Keep witnessing our amazing movie reload.